Hi everybody, welcome back. So today I am going to be making a key fob. It's a super quick project. You can probably bust one of these out in like 5 minutes. I am staying off camera today. I took my dogs for a walk and my hair is ridiculously windblown. So I'm doing you a favor and staying off camera so you don't have to look at it. But yeah, so this is what we're making today. Super quick, minimal supplies needed. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the supplies are pretty basic. So we're just gonna need one piece of fabric, a piece of interfacing. So I am using 809, Pellon 809. It's like a stiffer interfacing. Both of these I have cut. This one is a scrap piece, so it's a little bit smaller, but I have both of these cut to 4 inches by 12 inches, which I probably will end up trimming it down just a little bit, but that gives me, plenty of space. If you want it to be a little bit smaller, I've seen ones that are, a lot shorter where you just like hold with 2 fingers and that's it. You can definitely, shorten this. And I'm not sure what the measurements on those would be, but, and then we need, the key fob, the key ring to go with it, something to clamp the key fob closed. So I am using these. They're like, I think they're called glass cutter something, or glass breaker pliers. I don't know. This is what I got that came with my pack of key fobs. I don't love it though, because I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of rounded here because it's meant to like break glass, but people use them for the key fobs too. But because it's like bowed out right here, it tends to leave an imprint on the key rings. So I'm going to try and see if I can like cushion it with something and see if that helps. But you can use pliers. If you have a rivet press, you can get dies that, are specific to key fobs. So that's another option too. And then I am also using some glue. So this just, helps give it a little bit extra hold in case this ever comes loose. So just a little extra security on it. So all I'm going to do is take this and fuse the interfacing onto the wrong side of the fabric using my iron. All right, so I have my interfacing fused to my fabric, and now I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line down the center of the fabric. So I'm using 1-inch hardware, like the key fob is 1 inch. So I have this cut to 4 inches so that when I fold it all up, it'll be 1 inch wide. And I'm drawing the line at the 2-inch mark. And then I'm going to do this over at the iron, but what we're going to do is fold this in to that center mark on both sides. And we'll give that a press with the iron and then fold it in half again so that the raw edges are encased on the inside of that. And then we'll go ahead and throw some clips on it. All right, so we have it all clipped, and we're just going to go ahead and go over to our sewing machine and just sew down either side at about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, just like we would do with like a wristlet strap or anything like that. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and take it and fold it in half. If it's twisting at all, sometimes it does that with straps, you can go ahead and give it a press with your iron, and I will go and like lay something heavy down on top of it after I press it to just kind of like reinforce it being straight. But this one's not too bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and align the edges over here and then baste this at like 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I am not putting my basting stitches, like I'm not starting on the ends here. I'm starting just slightly in, like 1/8 of an inch in, so that you don't see my basting threads on the sides of this. because you know when you clamp this closed, the sides are open, so I don't want to see my basting stitches there. And just clean that up a little bit. Get rid of any stray threads that might end up hanging out. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is take my glue and just, you can either put it on the end of this, but I'm just gonna go and on the inside of this, just put a tiny little bead right on the inside here. And then this side has the clamps on it, so I'm not gonna do it there, but I'm gonna put just a tiny little bead over on this side here too. And honestly, I probably put even too much. That's a decent amount in there, but. All right, so now all we do is put this in here. And then sometimes I have a hard time getting this closed like this and getting it to clamp straight. So I'm just gonna clamp it just slightly over here. And then same with over here. So it just kind of gets it positioned right. And then I'll go in and clamp that. And let me see if I can find a piece of fabric or something to use to make sure this isn't getting indented. All right, so this is just fabric that I use for pressing sometimes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that over it, just kind of as like a buffer almost. We'll see if that does anything. And just give it a nice clamp. Go. And then we throw our key ring on, and there we go. We are done. Super quick, you know, it takes like 5 minutes to put one of these together. So you can batch sew a bunch of these. I would imagine these would be really great sellers at craft fairs or farmers markets or something. You can get, you know, a bunch of different colors of hardware, so you could have gold or rose gold, you know, whatever. So yeah, and then you also have a couple options. So this one I made, you know, sturdier with the stiff interfacing, but I've also done some before where I used, instead of interfacing, I use scrap batting. So it's a little bit, you know, softer. It's, you know, quilted, and then I did 4 quilting lines instead of just the basting stitches. And it just gives it like a nice little like quilting look, you know? So that's another option too. So 2 different options for, you know, how you want to do your key fobs.